In the quiet suburbs of California, there lived a man named Ethan Parker. He was smart, ambitious, and full of ideas. Ethan worked in a tech startup hub near San Jose, always brimming with innovation, but there was just one problem. He was always late. No matter how big the meeting, how important the pitch, or how close the deadline, Ethan could never seem to wake up on time. His alarm clock would ring and then get snoozed again and again. One day, Ethan had the chance of a lifetime. He was shortlisted to lead a breakthrough project with a top-tier investor watching closely. It was his dream, a chance to build something revolutionary. But on the big day, he was late. Again. By the time he reached the office, flustered and apologetic, the project had already been handed over to Neil, a colleague, who was nice but far less skilled. Ethan watched helplessly as Neil took over, just because he had been there on time. Ethan was crushed. That evening, sitting at a local diner with his cousin Leo, he vented his frustration. I had the vision, the talent, the plan, but it slipped away just like that, all because I hit the snooze button. Leo stirred his coffee slowly and looked at him with a half smile. Ethan, he said, you don't need to set your alarm. You need to set your mind. That's the real secret. Ethan raised an eyebrow. Set my mind? Leo nodded. I used to be just like you, always chasing the clock, always behind. I'd set 5 alarms, sleep through all of them, and rush into work like a storm. I thought I had a time problem, but really I had a discipline problem. Ethan leaned in, listening. One day, my mentor told me something I'll never forget. The way you start your day is the way you live your life. That hit me hard. I realized I needed to stop depending on a machine to wake me up and start training my mind to be in charge. Leo paused, then continued. So I did something radical. I stopped setting alarms. Ethan looked shocked. Wait, what? Yeah, Leo grinned. But I didn't just sleep in. I really decided that I was going to wake up at 5:30 every morning. I trained myself. At first, it was hard. I'd get up groggy, irritated, and half zombie. But I stuck to it. I adjusted my nights. I built a routine. I visualized my mornings. I stopped scrolling at midnight. I treated every morning like a meeting with my future. And you know what happened? Leo said, his eyes lighting up. I started showing up early, calm, clear, ready. My boss noticed. My team followed my lead. I went from being average to being the guy people could count on. I got promoted twice. Ethan sat quietly, soaking it in. Leo leaned in closer. Don't train your ears to hear an alarm. Train your heart to hear your goals. That night, Ethan couldn't sleep. Leo's words echoed again and again. Set your mind, not your alarm. The next morning, Ethan didn't snooze. He forced himself out of bed. It wasn't graceful, it wasn't easy, but it was a start. He kept going. He created a routine. A cold splash of water. A 10-minute stretch. A journal entry of what he'd accomplished that day. And, most importantly, being out the door 30 minutes earlier than necessary. At first, no one noticed, but he noticed. He wasn't anxious anymore. He wasn't rushing. He was present, focused. Then, slowly, others began to see the change. His manager, who once looked at him with frustration, began to nod with approval. His coworkers came to him for clarity. And eventually, when Neil struggled with the project Ethan had lost, the manager looked at Ethan and said, "Think you're ready to lead now?" Ethan smiled more than ever. This time, he nailed it. The investor was impressed. The product launch was smooth. Ethan didn't just complete the project, led it like a pro. In less than a year, he was voted Employee of the Year, a title he once thought was for people born organized.
He wasn't just on time anymore. He was ahead of schedule, of expectations, and who he used to be. Years later, Ethan sat on the porch with his kids as the sun peeked over the California hills. You know, I used to hate mornings, he said with a chuckle. I thought waking up early was torture, but it saved my life. It gave me my life. His kids leaned in as he told them the tale of how he lost the biggest opportunity only to come back stronger, just by changing a single habit. Discipline, he said, is doing what your future self will thank you for. And trust me, the sunrise holds more power than any dream you'll ever have at 7 a.m. Moral of the story. Waking up early isn't about the hour. It's about ownership. Set your mind, and success will follow one sunrise at a time.